For my new iPhone 17 Pro Max, I picked up the Spigen Ultra Hybrid T MagFit case. As you can see, this is a clear case that's going to show off your iPhone's natural colour, but it's not 100% clear because the back of the phone has a solid colour, in my case, white, and it also has some branding there at the back. I bought the case from Amazon UK for £21.24 and I opted for the glossy white version, but it's also available in matte black, matte blue and glossy orange. Spigen are marketing this case saying that it has good magnet strength and good protection overall, and that was certainly something that was appealing to me. The case looks gorgeous in my opinion. I think it's a really good looking case and there's good cutouts for the charging port and for the speakers, but all the major parts of the phone are protected, including the camera control button and the new camera area, that camera plateau. I weighed the case in at 41 grams, which is 1.4 ounces. I then removed the protective film that was on the back of the case. This brought the total weight of my iPhone 17 Pro Max and screen protector and case up to 285 grams, which is 10.1 ounces. When your phone is in the case, you'll have no issues charging with a USB Type-C cable, with MagSafe, or with a wireless charger. As far as putting your phone into the case or taking it out, it's obviously a little bit harder than a soft silicone case because this case is made from a hard plastic. It's made from polycarbonate and TPU plastic and the corners are solid, which is what you want for good drop protection. The sides are a lot more flexible. So in order to put your phone in and out of the case, you need to open it from the side and then slide your phone in or out. So I've had the Ultra Hybrid T for a few days and I can say with conviction that this is a good case and it's one that I can recommend. There's a lot of things to love about this case, but there is one thing that I don't personally like, but I'll get to that. I want to first talk about what I think are its strengths, and I think one of the strengths right away is the design. Now I know that's subjective, some of you might not like that, but I think that this design is great. I think it really shows off the design of the 17 Pro and the Pro Max. So if you want to kind of show off the natural beauty of the phone, then this is maybe the case for you. Now, it's kind of obvious here, this isn't a 100% clear case. What they've done is kind of taken away Apple's two-tone styling here, which had the Apple logo in the middle, and they've hidden that and then put their own two-tone kind of flavor onto it. Some of you might like that, some of you may not. I initially bought this actually in glossy orange, but my next day delivery became 3-4 weeks without Amazon telling me. But I reverted to the white, and I do think it looks great. I think my only thing here is that they've had an Apple logo, which I don't mind, but then they've put their own Spigen logo onto it. And this is something that Spigen seem to do a lot. They're quite aggressive with the way they put their branding onto their cases, because you've got the Spigen logo there, and you've got air cushion technology at the top, and then you've got Spigen down there as well. I mean, it's around the side of the case, it doesn't matter. It just seems a little bit aggressive to put so much branding around the case. But yeah, I do think it looks good. Maybe that's subjective, but I do think it looks really nice. Now, the other thing I think this is good for is protection. This isn't the size of a military case and you don't get like 15 feet drop protection, but it's not as bulky. And I think it does still offer good drop protection because these corners are absolutely solid. Really good, obviously flexible there, which is how you get the phone in and out of the case. But yeah, I think this gives good enough drop protection for, the average user. Most people don't want to get too bulky, so this is, maybe the right balance between protection and not being too big and heavy and not too bulky. The buttons are quite clicky, no issues there, really nice to press. And a lot of cases that are coming out for the 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max expose this area so that you've got access to the camera control button. They've chosen to protect it, and that's something I wanted. I just think it's better to protect that area rather than having it exposed, because knowing my luck, I would drop it and scratch it there. I'm not an expert with the camera control, sorry. I went from the 15 Pro Max to some Android phones and I'm back with Apple, but to me, this seems great. This doesn't feel any different to me than using it naked. So I don't think anyone's going to have any issues there with using this camera control button. I don't think it affects the functionality. So to me, that's a plus because it's not really, affecting the case in any way. It's not affecting the phone in any way, and the functionality is still there. Whereas if it was exposed, that's a different story. So yeah, I like the way they've done that. That's good. We've obviously got good cutouts there for the charging port, for the speaker. MagSafe is good as well. No issues there. Really solid connection and no issues with wireless charging. As I've said all this, but it's worth talking about that all of this is good. It all works really well. So is that not charging? Yes, it is now. All of these things happen when you're recording. Things that did work all of a sudden don't work for a second. Okay, that's all the good points, and I think most people will be happy with that. My own personal dislike is grip. So when you're holding it like this, at the sides, I think the grip is really nice. I think it feels really good at the sides here. There's a bit of kind of texture with the buttons, etc., and that feels nice. My problem is the back here, this back area. It's a real hard plastic. Obviously, you get that TPU and polycarbonate plastic, and it's solid, which is good for drop protection, etc. But it feels like a pane of glass, and it's just horrible to hold, in my opinion. I don't know. It's maybe a personal thing, but it just feels. I mean, it's a little bit slippy. It's definitely a little bit slippy there. I wouldn't say it's a grippy case, but it just feels, it just feels like glass, and it's just not a nice thing to hold all day. So I found myself, over the last few days, I was holding it, I'm like, something's off. It just doesn't feel nice in the hand. And to me, that's an important thing to me, not to everyone. Some people like clear cases, but to me, it's just not a nice feeling to hold this case. Now, in the past, I've had a lot of iPhone cases over the years, and I've tried lots of clear cases and silicone and, hard cases. The one that I've been using the last 4 or 5 months has been with my Honor Magic 7 Pro. And this case does stain easily, but I still didn't sell it or get rid of it or bin it because it's such a nice case to hold. This textured feel to it, this is just a dream to hold because it's just so grippy and it just feels really nice in the hand. And yeah, that's important to me. This grubby looking one that stains as soon as you touch it, it's just very nice to hold in your hand. And that's not what I'm getting here. This feels, honestly, it just feels like glass. So maybe this is a personal thing. I do value cases which have good grip, that feel nice to hold because you're holding it all day long. Certainly with me, I overuse my phone like most of you do. So yeah, so it's a kind of mixed bag, I guess, in that regard, because it's such a good looking, phone case. It offers good protection, in my opinion. You can see the cutout there looks a little bit off for this one, but that wasn't like that before. When I put the phone back into the case, it seems a little bit misaligned. So that's something you have to be aware of, that when you put it back in, just make sure that's aligned properly. But yeah, it's such a good phone in many respects. I think the design is good. I think the protection is good because in addition to the camera control, you're protecting the camera area there. You don't have protection for the lenses themselves, but you can see there is a lip there. So you do have some protection for the camera lenses. So it's good protection. It looks good. I just personally don't like the way that it feels at the back of my hand, which is why I'm going to return it. I just don't think it's the case for me. So yeah, I think if I was going for a Spigen case again, I would go for a variation where it wasn't this kind of polycarbonate, maybe a different material. I can recommend it though, I really can. I think it's a great looking case. I think it offers good protection. It was only £21. There's a lot of cases out there that are a lot more expensive. So I think it's good value. So I can recommend it, but just take what I've said into account and look at some other YouTube reviews, look at Amazon reviews, etc. Do your research before you spend your cash. But yeah, lovely looking case, good protection, but for me, I don't like feeling that glass, hard plastic all day. So that's why this one's not personally for me. So I have ordered another case, so there'll be another case review coming soon. But I'll leave a link to this if you want to check it out. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, thumbs up, subscribe. I'd love to hear your opinion on it, so please do leave a comment below. And until next time, take care.